Phenomenal. This list is beautiful today.
It's the sort list. Good morning, Don.
Good morning.
And Your Honor, if I may, Mr. Randy Grijalva, they're telling me he's at downtown court, I believe.
Okay, so we'll roll him to okay. We'll roll him to tonight. Thank you.
Mr. Medina will be here in a second.
All right. Hi, Morgan.
Good morning. Did you upload the PC statements, or who does that? Because onto SharePoint, because I didn't see them.
I don't do the PC statements, but they are on there.
Okay, I can't get them because I have no internet back here.
Sure. Let me forward them to you.
Gotcha.
It's all right. It's too late. I'm good. Okay, I'm just gonna go with that. Thank you. What is your name?
Adrian.
Adrian? Adrian what?
Medina.
Morning, sir. Tell me your name.
Adrian Medina.
Mr. Medina, you were here today on a warrant out of Justice Court. The charges are first-degree murder, attempt to commit armed robbery, and attempt to commit aggravated robbery. You do have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You do have the right to an attorney in this matter. Today, I'm going to appoint the Legal Defender's Office to represent you, and you have counsel seated with you for purposes of the hearing here today. I've had an opportunity to review some information provided by pretrial services on this matter. I've also reviewed the warrant. There is a $1 million bond that is being requested on the warrant. I've had a chance to review the state's recommendation. Counsel, the other thing I will be doing today is pursuant to ARS Section 8-305D. There's factors that the court will be reviewing to determine whether or not Mr. Medina should be held at the Pima County Jail or detained at the juvenile court facility. So if you want to state positions one way or the other on that, please do that at the time you make any other recommendations. So from the state, like I said, have had a chance to review your recommendation. It is the court's intention to hold Mr. Medina on $1 million bond. Anything you'd like to add?
Nothing further in addition to the dangerousness for the state, Your Honor, and for the community. The state doesn't have a position on where the defendant is housed at this time.
Ms. Priestman?
We don't have a position on bond, Judge, but he would like to be housed at the juvenile facility.
All right, Mr. Medina, I am going to hold you on a $1 million cash or secured bond today. For some reason, you do post that bond, then you'd be released to pretrial services. If you do get released, you have to participate in any monitoring or treatment they direct. You're not allowed to possess or consume any alcohol or illegal drugs, and you are not allowed to have any firearms. You're not allowed to have any contact with the victim's family in this case. Do not return to the incident location or anywhere near where those family members may be living or working. I do find under the factors of 8-305D, considering all 9, that the most appropriate place for Mr. Medina to be housed at this time is at the Pima County Jail, not the Juvenile Detention Center. Mr. Medina, your next court hearing is going to be May 27th at 1:30. That is a preliminary hearing. That court date may or may not occur, but you're expected to show up at all future court dates. And if you fail to appear, a warrant will issue for your arrest. If you remain in custody, the jail will make sure that you are either transported or appear via video for your next hearing. But if you do bond out, it is your responsibility to appear, or a warrant will be issued for your arrest. Mr. Medina, do you understand the conditions of release I've imposed here today?
What if I can make bond? How would I get it?
You're gonna hold on a minute, Judge. If you're able to make the bond, your attorney is gonna help you figure that out. Okay, so when you leave here, you're gonna tell your attorney they're gonna come happen to you about all this. Okay. He's good. We're good.
All right, Mr. Medina, do you understand the consequences if you fail to show up for your hearing, that a warrant will issue for your arrest?
Yeah.
Okay, you're all done. You're all done for today, Mr. Medina. Yeah, I think. So, Jail, I know we talked about Mr. Grijalva being downtown, rather than continue this hearing because it is just a review hearing, what I would like to do is make sure he is aware that his next review hearing here is going to be June 16th at 9. On Grijalva. Dale, did you catch that?
Right, Your Honor, we'll get in the paperwork.
Yeah.
Yeah, instead of continuing him. Okay.
The bond is going to remain, it's at the Santa Cruz County warrant, so we'll just reset it for June 16th at 9.
Your Honor, did you want to go ahead with misdemeanors or did you want to get the interpreter matter out of the way?
If we could do Mr. Leal, that would be wonderful. I'm sure Mr. Davis would appreciate that as well.
Very much so. Thank you for your consideration, jail and staff.
Yeah. Sure you guys are in the all right place, please. Pues I'll de pues.
You have a Spanish interpreter.
I can do it in English or Spanish, whatever.
Good morning, sir. We're going to use an interpreter today, so I'm going to have you wait until he interprets things before you answer. Tell me your name.
Miguel.
Hold on.
Mr. Davis, you're muted.
Hey, tú, señor, ¿cómo se llama usted? Vamos a usar intérprete. Espera que el intérprete antes de responder a usted. ¿Cómo se llama?
Miguel Ángel Leal.
Miguel Ángel Leal.
Mr. Leal, you are here today on a charge of unlawful flights from pursuing a law enforcement vehicle. You do have the right.
Señor Leal, se encuentra detenido por haber tratado de evadir persecución y detención de los agentes del orden público en patrulla.
You do have the.
Sorry, Your Honor.
That's okay. You do have the right to remain silent on these charges. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You do have the right to an attorney on this felony case. Today, I'm going to appoint the public defender's office, and you have counsel seated with you for purposes of the hearing here today.
Tiene usted derecho a guardar silencio. Cualquier cosa que diga podrá y será usada en contra suya. Tiene derecho a tener representación de un licenciado o licenciada. Tenemos a su lado una licenciada abogada de oficio para que le ayude esta mañana.
I've had the opportunity to review information provided by pretrial services.
Ya tuve la oportunidad de recibir un informe que se preparó por la Agencia de Servicios Previos al Juicio.
That report tells me that you also have a Nogales Justice Court case pending.
Este informe también dice que tiene pendiente una orden de detención y un caso pendiente en el juzgado de paz de Nogales, Arizona.
Sí.
That's correct.
We are here to talk about your conditions of release on this case. I've had a chance to review the state's recommendation. They're asking for a $25,000 bond.
Entonces, he revisado los datos del caso para determinar las condiciones de libertad provisional y la Fiscalía da su recomendación de fianza de $25,000 por lo que tiene pendiente.
State, did you want to be heard further?
Nothing in addition to our recommendation.
La Fiscalía está conforme con lo que recomendaron.
$25,000 para salir.
$25,000 to get released?
Ms. Priestman?
So what we're asking, Mr. Leal is born and raised in Nogales. He lives in Nogales. That is his permanent resident with his mother. He takes care of his mother. He is a shuttle driver down there.
Bueno, el señor Leal ha vivido toda su vida en Nogales, Arizona. Fue donde se crió. Él vive ahí con su madre, se encarga del cuidado de ella. Él es conductor de los fletes shuttle.
He was only recently here in Tucson looking for work. So we're asking that you release him to the supervision of pretrial services.
Y él solo ha estado aquí un breve tiempo buscando empleo. Lo que pedimos nosotros es que le deje salir de la custodia para que pase a ser supervisado por la Agencia de Servicios Previos al Juicio, Pretrial Services.
It does look like there is a failure to appear on that Nogales case, and in looking at the criminal history, some of it pretty old, but Mr. Leal does appear to have a problem showing up to court when he's scheduled.
Lo que veo yo es que el caso que tiene pendiente en el condado de Santa Cruz tiene una falta de competencia en ese caso y buscando ver antecedentes, se ven algunos, aunque son bastante antiguos, pero sí parece que tiene ciertos problemas, señor Leal, en presentarse cuando se le ordena.
I do believe that a bond is appropriate, that the court is going to impose a $1,500 cash or secured bond today.
Sí pienso que se merita imponer una fianza, señor Leal. Puede exigirle fianza de 1,500, puede ser en dinero efectivo o garantizado por propiedad.
If you post that bond, Mr. Leal, then you'll be released to pretrial services.
Si logra depositar la fianza, señor, y salir de custodia, pasará a la supervisión continua de la Agencia de Servicios Previos al Juicio, Pretrial Services.
You must check in with them as directed. You're not allowed to possess or consume any alcohol or illegal drugs, and you can't have any firearms while this case is going on.
Debe usted presentarse y reportarse cuando le digan. No podrá tener consumo ni posesión de licor, ni de droga ilícita, ni de armas de fuego mientras siga pendiente el caso.
Your next hearing in this matter is going to be May 27th at 1:30. That's a preliminary hearing.
Ahora, la siguiente audiencia está pactada para el 27 de mayo a la 1:30 para una audiencia preliminar.
That hearing may or may not occur, but you're expected to show up at all your future hearings, and if you fail to appear, a warrant could issue for your arrest.
Esa audiencia posiblemente no se lleve a cabo. Se le hace responsable por presentarse y dar audiencia que se en su caso. De no ser así, subiremos de detención.
Do you understand the conditions of release that we've imposed today?
Entiende las consecuencias de justicia que el día de hoy, señor.
Sí.
Yes.
And do you understand the consequences if you fail to appear for your hearing?
Y
Sí.
yes.
You're all done for today, Mr. Leal.
Es todo por hoy, señor Leal. Puede retirarse.
We're gonna get step speaking where. Scotch. To the jail. Posted bond.
Okay.
All right, Mr. Davis,
Yes.
that's all of our Spanish speakers. Have a wonderful day.
Thank you. Thanks to all.
And the middle, all the way around to the first hill. That. Oh, no. There are points. You're gonna be court search. One of my you guys have a sequence. I could check. Points. Have a seat, sir.
Good morning. Tell me your name.
Jared Dakota Choites.
Mr. Toitz, you are here today on charges of disorderly conduct and assault. These are misdemeanor charges. You do have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. This is the time for your initial appearance, and we need to talk about conditions of release today. I have had an opportunity to review information provided by pretrial services. They prepared a report for the court that tells me a little bit about you and the circumstances of the offense. If I release you today, sir, two things. One, will you promise to show up at a court date that I give you in the future?
Yes.
And the second thing is, at this time, your mom is the victim of this case, and you are not going to be allowed to return to see her or to where she is living. Do you live with your mom?
I do, yeah, we were staying in the same place.
Do you have somewhere?
You know someplace else to stay?
Not that I know of.
Sir, if I release you today, you're going to have to find some other place to stay because you can't go back to your mom's. You can ask the court to change that in the future, or she can, but today, because we weren't able to contact her, you're not going to be allowed to go back to the house.
Okay.
So do you have a friend or some other family member that you can stay with for a short time?
I'm sure. Yeah, I know a couple friends I can probably hang out with.
Okay. All right. So with that, Mr. Choites, I am going to release you today on your promise to appear. You are not, as I've said, to have any contact with your mom. Don't return to the incident location or where she's living or working until there's another order of the court. Do not commit any acts of domestic violence. Do you need to return to the house to pick up any of your belongings?
No.
Okay. Okay. Well, if that changes, you're not allowed to go back there. So you'll need to talk with the judge. Your next hearing is going to be May 27th at 10:30. So that's going to be a couple of weeks, and that'll be here at Pima County Justice Court. You do need to appear at that date and time. If you do not appear, the court will issue a warrant for your arrest. Do you understand the conditions I've imposed today, Mr. Choites?
Yes.
And do you understand the consequences if you fail to appear for your court hearing?
Yeah.
All right, you're all done for today, sir. That's your court date, okay? Make sure you get to court. That's
Your next. Wait, left hand side all the way down. Sit down. Yep.
Morning.
Good morning. Tell me your name.
Daniel Del Rio.
What's your middle name?
Daniel Anthony Del Rio.
You are here this morning, Mr. Del Rio, on charges of disorderly conduct and criminal damage. They are domestic violence offenses. These are misdemeanors. You do have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. We're here to talk about your conditions of release today. I've had an opportunity to review information provided by pretrial services. They prepare a report for me that tells me a little bit about you and the circumstances. The victims in this case are your parents, and at this time they are willing to continue to have contact with you. So 2 things, Mr. Del Rio. If I release you today, will you promise to show up at a court date that I give you in the future?
Oh, yes.
And then the other condition of release is that you not commit any acts of domestic violence. Will you promise to do that as well?
Yep.
All right. I'm going to release you today on your promise to appear. Your condition of release is that you not commit any acts of domestic violence. Your next court date is going to be May 27th at 10:30 at Pima County Justice Court. You are required to appear at that date and time. If you fail to appear, a warrant could issue for your arrest. Do you understand? All right. So you understand those consequences if you don't show up for court? All right. I think Ms. Priestman there will have the date written down for you. And when you get released from the jail, you should also get your paperwork. You're all done for today. Yes, they are allowing you to go back to the house. So at this time, you may do that.
Escobedo. Is that what you said? Yeah, down the steps, left hand section. Yes.
Right, sir, tell me your name.
Miguel Escobedo?
Mr. Escobedo, you are here today on charges out of Sarita Municipal Court involving disorderly conduct, 2 counts, and criminal damage. These are domestic violence offenses. You do have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. We're here to talk about your conditions of release today. I've had an opportunity to review information provided by pretrial services that tells me a little bit about you and also the circumstances of the offense. Looks like your girlfriend is the victim in this matter. She has indicated that you are welcome to return home, or you're welcome to have further contact with them. I guess you don't live in the same place. If I release you today, Mr. Escobedo, will you promise to show up at a court date that I give you in the future?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. I should also add that I did receive the Form 4C on this case, the Intimate Partner Risk Assessment, and I have taken that into consideration for my conditions of release today. So given that Ms. Sanchez is willing to have contact with you, the other order I will enter today is that you are not to commit any acts of domestic violence. Do you understand that condition?
Yes, ma'am.
So you will be released today. Your next court date is going to be June 3rd at 8:30 in the morning. That's going to be at Sarita Municipal Court. You do have to appear at that date and time. If you fail to appear, a warrant could issue for your arrest. Do you understand that?
Is there a, do I need a higher lawyer search court date? So I'll be out of town for work that week.
When you get released later today, the address and phone number for Sarita Municipal Court will be on there. You can contact them and ask them to adjust that date. All right?
Okay.
You're all done for today.
Again.
Cody Lane.
Very good.
Okay, sir, tell me your name.
Cody Lane.
Is your middle name Brent?
Yes.
All right. You are here today on a charge involving preventing or use of an electronic device to threaten someone. It is a domestic violence offense. You do have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. This is the time for us to talk about your conditions of release on this matter. The court has considered the pretrial services report. That's a report that they prepare for the court, sir, that tells me a little bit about you and also the circumstances of the offense. The victim in this case is your former girlfriend, Miss Miles. She is objecting to your release. She does not want to have any contact with you at all. The court has also considered the Form 4C, the intimate partner risk assessment that was completed by law enforcement, and I'm taking that into consideration today. So, Mr. Lane, a couple of things. One, if I do release you today, will you promise to show up at a court date that I give you in the future?
Yes.
The other thing you will not be permitted to do if I release you today is have any contact of any kind with Miss Miles. None. No social media, no texting, no phone calls, and you absolutely aren't allowed to go anywhere near where she is living or working. Do you understand all those conditions?
I do.
And are you willing to abide by those if I release you today? Right. I am going to release you on your promise to appear. Your next court date is going to be May 27th at 8:30 at Pima County Justice Court. You are required to appear at that hearing. If you do not appear, they will issue a warrant for your arrest. Do you understand the consequences if you fail to appear?
I do.
Ms. Priestman is writing down that date for you, but when you get released today, you're also going to get a copy of your paperwork. It'll have the date and time and address and phone number for the court that you're scheduled to appear at. Also reiterates the conditions we talked about today. You're all done for today.
Thank you.
Stephen Mitchell.
I just have a
Officer for Letenson.
Hi, tell me your name.
Stephen Mitchell.
You are here this morning on charges of disorderly conduct and assault. There's 2 counts of disorderly conduct. They are all domestic violence related. You do have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. Jail, do you note any kind of probation hold for Mr. Mitchell?
We do not see when Your Honor, no.
So, Mr. Mitchell, I've had an opportunity to review information provided by pretrial services. They prepare a report that tells me a little bit about you and also the circumstances of the offense. That's how I was aware that you were on probation in this case. If I release you today, Mr. Mitchell, will you promise to show up at a court date that I give you in the future?
Yes, ma'am.
In the report, it does look like Ms. Morales Garza has indicated that she does not want any further contact with you at all. I don't know what your probation conditions are, but it does appear that both she and your minor age child are the victims in your felony case that you're on probation for. So I would imagine your probation officer also has conditions for you that don't allow you all to have contact. So if I release you, you're going to have to stay away from her. Do you understand that?
Yes, ma'am.
And also the minor age child that's listed as a victim. Do you understand that as well?
Yes.
All right. am going to release you today. And your next court date is going to be May 27th at 10:30 in the morning, and that is going to be at Pima County Justice Court. You are required to appear on that date and time, and if you fail to appear, a warrant could issue for your arrest. Do you understand that?
Yes.
When you get released today, you must contact your probation officer. You're going to be released today before 5. You must contact your probation officer today when you get out. Do you understand that?
Yes. Can it wait till I get home? Because I don't have a cell phone, so I'd have to use my mom's.
I'm going to order you to contact probation today, even if that means leaving them a message when you get home. But you need to contact them today.
Okay.
All right, that's the order. That's what you need to abide by. Additionally, you're not to commit any acts of domestic violence. You are not allowed to have any contact with the victims in this case. That's Miss Morales Garza and the minor age child. Do not go anywhere near where they are living or working. You are not allowed to have any contact. Don't text them. Don't use a third party to have contact with them. Do not have any contact with her at all or the child. Do you understand those conditions?
Yes.
All right. When you get released later today, you're going to get a copy of your court paperwork. I think Ms. Priestman did also write down information for your court dates. Get that paperwork when you leave court today and make sure you show up. You're all done for today, sir.
Thank you.
Robinson.
Just a minute, sir. All right, tell me your name.
Caleb Robinson.
Mr. Robinson, you are here today on charges of assault, a single charge of assault. It is a domestic violence related offense. This is a misdemeanor. You do have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. We're here to talk about your conditions of release. I've had an opportunity to review information that pretrial services has provided. That report tells me a little bit about you and also the circumstances of the offense in this case. Jail, are you showing a probation hold on this one?
We are not, Your Honor.
All right. So, Mr. Robinson, if I release you today, will you promise to show up at a court date that I give you in the future?
Yes.
You're also going to have to contact your probation officer when you get released. Do you understand that as well?
Yes.
All right.
My phone is being held in evidence right now.
When you get released, can you use somebody else's phone?
I can, yeah. I just
Or just go over there?
I could. I just don't know his number. I have his emails and stuff, but I'll figure out a way to contact him as soon as I get up.
Ms. Priestman, do you guys have probation information there? Is there cards or anything there about how they can contact them?
No, but maybe they'll give him his phone back when you're released. They took your phone?
As evidence.
As evidence?
Yeah. I'm not going to get that back.
Yeah.
Is over time, will I get that back when the stuff is done? Or I don't know the specific. Sorry.
That's something that you'll have to talk with them down the road. So for today, I also need to note that I did consider the Form 4C, the Intimate Partner Risk Assessment, for conditions of release here today. So, Mr. Robinson, I am going to release you on your promise to appear at a court date. You'll show up on the next court date that I give you. Is that right?
Yes.
Your conditions of release are that you not commit any acts of domestic violence. It does look like your girlfriend at this time has said that she does not object to your release, and you are welcome to have contact with her. So the only condition you have is not committing any acts of domestic violence. Do you understand that condition?
Yes.
And also getting a hold of your probation officer when you get released. So your next court date is going to be May 27th at 10:30. That's going to be at Pima County Justice Court. You are required to appear at that date and time. If you don't, they could issue a warrant for your arrest. Do you understand that, Mr. Robinson?
Yes.
You're all done for today.
Thank you.
And folks, everybody on the inside, let's close up for.
Folks, on the middle, all the way up. Right around here. The last seat, you're gonna be the first man in that brown chair, everybody else just have a seat. See you guys, can swing on around.
Morning, sir. Tell me your name.
My name's Peralta.
Mr. Espinoza, you are here on multiple matters today. The first is a felony charge of possession of a dangerous drug. You do have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You are entitled to an attorney on this matter. At this time, I'm appointing the Legal Defender's Office to represent you, and you do have counsel seated with you for purposes of the hearing here today. We're also going to be talking about a shoplifting warrant out of Pima County Justice Court dating back to 2023. And then there are Tucson City Court warrants out for your arrest, as well as a couple of new charges on that as well that we're going to be talking about here today. I've had the opportunity to review some information provided by pretrial services. That report tells me a little bit about you and also the circumstances of the offense. In reviewing that report, it tells me that, and actually looking at the state's recommendation, it looks like the state's going to be dismissing the felony charge. Is that right?
Yes, Your Honor.
Right. So the felony drug charge is going to be dismissed. So we don't have to talk about that one now. Mr. Espinoza, do you have a place to stay right now?
He stays with his mother.
I help her. She's obviously, you know what I mean? And she needs help in the house. You know, to cook for her and stuff.
So, Mr. Espinoza, if I release you on your justice court and city court matters, you have to go to court to get those things resolved. They're not going to go away. Do you understand? All right. I am on the justice court case. There was a warrant for your arrest on that one. It looks like the warrant amount was for $2,499. I am going to release you today on your promise to appear on this case. You must come to justice court on May 27th at 9:30 in the morning. If you don't show up, they're going to issue another warrant for your arrest. Do you understand that? Good. Well, if you want to continue to take care of your mom, you better get this taken care of or you're going to find yourself back in jail. So on this case, Mr. Espinoza, do not return to wherever you did the shoplifting. Don't go back there. There are victims at that location and you can't be there. Do you understand that? Okay, now we need to talk about your Tucson City Court case. I am going to release you on the Tucson City Court cases as well. You do have failures to appear for possession of prescription drugs and drug paraphernalia and consuming liquor in public. Looks like there's new charges involving criminal trespass and drug paraphernalia. On those new charges, in addition to your initial appearance today, it's the time for your arraignment. So I am going to enter not guilty pleas on your behalf. I am also going to, hang on. Enter not guilty pleas on your behalf because you are presumed innocent on those. You are not allowed to return to the incident location wherever the criminal trespass took place and have any contact with the victims who were there. So don't go back to that place. All right, your next court hearing in Tucson City Court is not going to be until June 16th at 9:30. You must go to that court date. Ms. Priestman's writing it down for you, and when you get released today, you're going to get a copy of your court paperwork that'll have the court date and time and the address. That's also downtown, so if you're here every day, it should be easy for you to get to that hearing. Good. Well, all of your matters will be heard on that day and time. If you fail to appear for that hearing, they could issue a warrant for your arrest. They could also go forward with that hearing in your absence. If they go forward with the hearing in your absence, they could set future hearings, including a trial. And if you can't be sentenced within 90 days of that conviction, you could also lose your right to a direct appeal. Do you understand all of those consequences if you don't show up in city court? All right, you're all done for today, Mr. Espinoza. Go to court.
Sure. See you later.
Hi, sir. Tell me your name.
Adrian Floor.
Mr. Floor, you are here on a warrant out of Maricopa County Superior Court. Looks like it's on a theft charge. There is a $1,500 bond amount on that warrant. Jail, are you showing any holds? It looks like he has a couple of different cases and a felony probation. He's on felony probation.
I'm trying to go do that.
Sorry, sir, hang on. I need to hear the jail and I cannot hear them. Hang on. Jail, did you say no holds? Okay. So, Mr. Floor, today I am going to impose the $1,500 cash or secured bond amount that is on the warrant out of Maricopa County Superior Court. I am going to set a review hearing for you here on June 16th at 9 o'clock. What should happen is if you don't have any holds here, they're going to notify Maricopa County. The Pima County Jail will notify Maricopa County that you're in custody on this warrant. If you post the bond and get released, you must contact Maricopa County Superior Court to get this case resolved. It's not going to go away. If you are still in custody for any reason here, we're going to have a review hearing on June 16th at 9, just like we're doing here today, so that we can make sure that you aren't just sitting here at the Pima County Jail. Do you understand those conditions?
Yes, ma'am. Would this affect my probation or anything like?
I don't know. Right. I don't know the answer to that. So you've got this Maricopa County case that you have to get resolved. I'm imposing the $1,500 bond today. If you post the bond, then you can get released, but you have to contact Maricopa County. You also, whenever you get released, should talk with your probation officer about the fact that this is going on. All right?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. You're all done for today.
No, I'll fall down. Adrian, Escalante. Escalante.
Right. Absolutely. I'll call him.
Michael Paul.
Well,
Yep, oh, we have one of them say nonsense.
Hey, sir, tell me your name.
Michael Jędruski.
Mr. Jędruski, you are here today on a charge of criminal damage. It is a felony offense. You do have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You do have the right to an attorney in this matter. Today, I'm going to appoint the public defender's office to represent you, and you have counsel seated with you for purposes of the hearing here today. I've had an opportunity to review information provided by pretrial services. That report tells me a little bit about you and also the circumstances of this offense. I've also had a chance to review the state's recommendation. They're asking for a $5,000 bond. Did you want to be heard further?
Yes, Your Honor. The $5,000 bond is primarily because this is an offense that is a danger to the public. These charges arise out of an alleged DUI, and there seems to be a very significant history with alcohol. That's why the state is asking for a $5,000 bond.
Ms. Priestman, I am inclined to impose a bond on this case. I do understand that some of the criminal history is older, but that's not as compelling given the fact that there's, I think, at least 2 or more. So that is my inclination. Did you want to be heard?
I do. So, Mr. Jandruski is retired. He is a school teacher. He's a high school teacher at Toya High School. He lives at a home, his own home. He has a dog there that we don't know what we're going to do about that because he doesn't have any of his numbers because they took his phone. So he can't call his sister, who would be the person that he would be able to call. So we're kind of having a problem. But anyway, he is asking to be released under the supervision of pretrial services. If you're going to have a bond, maybe a $200 or $300 bond, and maybe we could try to figure out somebody that would be able to pay that so that he could take care of his dog. But he's willing to not drive, to be breathalyzed as many times as the court deems necessary, and under whatever house arrest type of conditions the court thinks is necessary to protect the community.
I am going to impose a $5,000 cash or secured bond today. Mr. Jandruski, if you post that bond, then you'll be released to pretrial services. You are required to check in with that agency as scheduled, participate in any monitoring or treatment they direct. This is an alcohol-related offense. You will be required to submit to alcohol monitoring. You are not allowed to possess or consume any alcohol or illegal drugs. Do not drive without a valid license. You can't have any firearms while this case is going on. Do not return to the incident location where the criminal damage occurred. That's where the victims are. Do you understand all those conditions of release, sir?
$5,000 bond.
That's what I have to come up with.
That's what you have to come up with. And your lawyer's going to come out and see you. Do you understand?
I think so, yeah. As long as I can, like we talked before, to get my billfold back that it has a
Yes, I understand.
Mr. Jandruski, I need you to confirm with me that you understand the conditions of release that I've imposed today.
I understand.
Okay. You don't have to like them. I just need to know that you understand the condition.
I understand the conditions.
Okay. Your next court date is going to be May 27th at 1:30. That's a preliminary hearing. That court date may or may not occur, but you are expected to show up at all future court dates. If you remain in custody, the jail will make sure that you appear for your next date. But if you post bond and get released, you must stay in contact with your attorney so you're aware of any court date changes. If you do not show up for court, they can issue a warrant for your arrest. Do you understand that consequence if you fail to appear for your hearing?
I understand that.
Right.
May I ask a question?
You can ask me.
Oh.
What?
When do I have to?
Your lawyer's going to come out and talk to you about paying that.
Okay.
Okay? About the ways that you can make that happen. Okay? All right. We're good.
Thank you. You're all done for today.
Wait on the Johnstone. Others. Nobody else is down, please.
I'm sorry I didn't get a chance to talk to you.
Okay.
I'm sorry I didn't get a chance to talk to you.
Morning, sir. Tell me your name.
Jeffrey Johnstone.
Is your middle name Paul?
Yes.
All right. You were here today, sir, for an initial appearance on charges of possession of dangerous drugs and possession of drug paraphernalia. You do have the right to remain silent on these charges. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You do have the right to an attorney on this case. Today, I'm appointing the public defender's office to represent you, and you have counsel seated with you for purposes of the hearing here today. I've had an opportunity to review information provided to me by pretrial services. They prepare a report that tells me a little bit about you and the circumstances of the offense. Based on the nature of this offense, sir, that's what we refer to as personal possession drug charges, you may be eligible to participate in a pre-indictment diversion program. If you qualify for that program, it means that the state would not go forward with these felony charges if you successfully complete it. It would require that you agree to participate in substance. Not?
Yes, ma'am.
All right. With that, counsel, I'm inclined to release him to pretrial services, give him his steps hearing date next week. Ms. Priestman, are we willing to waive time for the preliminary hearing?
Yes.
All right. So, sir, I am going to release you today to the custody of pretrial services.
Okay.
You are going to be required to stay in contact with that agency and participate in any monitoring or treatment they direct. You are not allowed to have any alcohol. Do not possess any alcohol or illegal drugs, and you can't have any firearms while this case is going on. Your next court date is going to be next week. It's going to be May 22nd at 9 o'clock. That will be at Pima County Superior Court on the 3rd floor. Ms. Priestman will write that down for you. It's going to be in front of Judge Hampson. At that hearing, you'll have a chance to meet with your attorney that handles the pre-indictment diversion program. Pretrial services will be in the courtroom, and also providers from our community for substance abuse treatment. So if you do qualify, you'll find out about it that day, and they'll go ahead and sign you up. Your next hearing after the one next week, which is very important for you to go to, is your preliminary hearing. That one we're going to set out a little bit. That one will be June 30th at 1:30. That hearing may or may not occur, depending upon what happens with your eligibility for the diversion program. But if you fail to appear for future court dates, they can issue a warrant for your arrest. Do you understand?
I understand.
Okay. That hearing next week at 9, please make sure you show up at 9 o'clock so that you get an opportunity to meet with everyone in the courtroom to see if you're eligible. It's really important for your participation to be there. Do you understand all those conditions of release I gave you today?
Yes, I do.
Right. You're all done for today.
Thank you.
Okay, good luck.
Valerie Lundgren.
Hi, ma'am. Tell me your name.
Valerie Lundgren.
Ms. Lundgren, you were here today on charges of possession of dangerous drug, possession of a narcotic drug, and possession of drug paraphernalia. These are felony offenses. You do have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. You do have the right to an attorney in this matter. Today, I'm going to appoint the Public Defender's Office to represent you, and you have counsel seated with you for purposes of the hearing. We're here to talk about your conditions of release today. I've had an opportunity to review information provided by pretrial services. They prepare a report for the court that tells me a little bit about you and the circumstances of the offense. I am inclined to release Ms. Lundgren to pretrial and give her the steps review hearing date next week. Does either party wish to be heard?
No, Your Honor. No, Your Honor.
So, Ms. Lundgren, based on the nature of the charges, the drug charges, you may be eligible to participate in a pre-indictment diversion program. It's called STEPS. If you qualify for the program and successfully complete it, then the state would not go forward with these felony charges. But you have to agree to participate in substance abuse treatment. Is that something that you would be willing to do?
Yes.
All right. So I'm going to give you a hearing date of next week, May 22nd at 9 a.m. That hearing is going to take place on the 3rd floor of Superior Court in front of Judge Hampson. At that court hearing, you'll meet with your public defender. Pretrial services will be there, who you're going to have to stay in contact with. We'll talk about that in a minute. And then also treatment providers from our community. If you qualify for the program, you'll have an opportunity to set everything up right there. It is very important that you go to that hearing if you want to be eligible. Do you understand?
Yes.
Your conditions of release are being released to pretrial services. That means you must stay in contact with that agency, participate in any monitoring or treatment they direct. You cannot possess or consume any alcohol, obviously no illegal drugs, and you can't have any firearms while this case is going on. Ms. Priestman, are we willing to waive time for the PH?
Yes.
So after that hearing next week, the next hearing for your case is going to be a preliminary hearing, and that will take place on June 30th at 1:30. That hearing may or may not occur, but you have to show up for all your future court dates. If you fail to appear, they could issue a warrant for your arrest. Do you understand that, Ms. Lundgren?
Yes.
All right. You're all done for today. Make sure you get to that hearing next week.
I'm bringing yes, yeah. Okay, go to that hearing. Thank you. Okay.
McCollum.
Hey, sir, tell me your name.
Christopher James McCollum.
Mr. McCollum, you were here on a warrant out of Nogales. Looks like for narcotic drug possession or use. You do have the right to remain silent. Anything you say can and will be used against you. I had an opportunity to review some information provided by pretrial services. I will note that this does appear to be an older matter. The bond amount on the warrant is $300. If I release you on this case today, Mr. McCollum, will you promise to get in contact with Nogales Justice Court so you can get this taken care of?
Absolutely.
All right. It doesn't look like it's proceeded to felony charges in Santa Cruz County, but it may have. I can't really tell from the way the warrant is worded. So it could be Santa Cruz County Superior Court. Wherever it is, you do need to contact them. When you get released later today, I do have the Nogales Justice Court case number written on the court paperwork. That should help you. The warrant was issued on December 5th of 2024. So I'm going to release you today on this matter, and you do need to contact them so you can get your court date in the future for them and get this taken care of. Do you understand?
Yeah.
All right.
Yes.
You're all done for today.
Okay. They got it.
Yeah, go down there, take care of it.
Okay. Thank you. Right.
Hi, sir. Tell me your name.
My name is Brady Reinhardt.
Hang on just a second. All right, Mr. Reinhardt, you are here on a few different matters today. You're here on a felony charge of being in possession of a firearm as a prohibited possessor. There are also warrants out of Justice Court, and we have warrants out of City Court that we need to talk about today. You do have the right to remain silent on all of these charges. Anything you say can and will be used against you. On the felony case, you do have the right to have an attorney. I am going to appoint the Legal Defender's Office to represent you in that case. You do have counsel seated with you for purposes of the hearing today. We're here to talk about your conditions of release. I've had an opportunity to review some information provided by pretrial services. That report tells me a little bit about you as well as the circumstances of the offense. I've also had a chance to review the state's recommendation as to your conditions of release. They're asking for a $10,000 bond. I was inclined to impose a $7,500 cash or secured bond today on this matter and bonds on the other matters as well. State need to be heard further?
No, Your Honor.
Ms. Priestman?
So Judge, Mr. Reinhardt tells me that in the Cochise County, or is it Santa Cruz County or Cochise County? Cochise County cases, he's on IPS up here. There's a courtesy supervision. So he's on IPS. His PO is Jason Matthews. He is residing up here. I don't see a probation hold, but I don't know if there will be a probation hold at some point. He's been on IPS up here for those same charges in that he's got on his criminal history. So I don't know what the new ones are or if they're old or something left over. But anyway, he has a full-time job at L&L manufacturing components. He has a place to live. He's in compliance with his probation officer. I think Rika Myers is the person who's supervising you next.
Yeah, my
Tell me.
I'm sorry, yes, my current PO is.
Okay. And then, so what we're asking you to do, because he's pre-indictment on this prohibited possessor case, we're asking you to release him back on his probation conditions, IPS conditions.
I am going to impose a bond on this case today, $7,500 cash or secured. Jail, I'm assuming you don't have a probation hold yet?
We do not, Your Honor.
Right. If you post that bond, Mr. Reinhardt, then you would be released to pretrial services. You have to participate in any monitoring or treatment they direct, no alcohol or illegal drugs, and you are not permitted to have any firearms for any reason ever. The next hearing date for you is going to be May 27th at 1:30. That's a preliminary hearing. That hearing may or may not occur, but you are expected to show up at all future hearings, and if you fail to appear, a warrant could issue for your arrest. Do you understand the conditions of release for your felony case today?
Yes, ma'am.
Do you understand the consequences if you fail to appear?
Yes.
I would imagine probation will get notice that you are in custody, and I would imagine that they will come see you. And then let's talk about the warrant out of Cochise County does have a $1,500 bond amount on it. I am inclined to impose that today. And as Ms. Priestman said, this does not appear to be a holdover from what you were on probation for, but hopefully your attorney can get that resolved for you. Today I am going to enter a $1,500 cash or secured bond that has to be in addition to the $7,500 that the court previously imposed. I'm going to set a review hearing for you here. So the purpose of that is once Cochise County knows that you've been picked up on the warrant, then they could come get you, Mr. Reihart, but you're going to have some things here in Pima County to resolve first. So review hearing date is going to be June 16th at 9. If you find yourself still in custody at the Pima County Jail, then we'll do just what we're doing here today to review this bond amount and make sure that that matter has been taken care of. Do you understand the reason for that review hearing?
Yeah.
All right. And then finally, we do need to talk about your city court case as well. It's a theft or shoplifting matter.
Not an issue with that.
And it looks like a warrant was issued for your arrest back in January of 2024. So this has been pending a while. I am going to impose a $50 cash or secured bond on that matter, appoint the city public defender's office to represent you in that case. If you do post that bond and get released on these things, don't go back to the incident location where the shoplifting occurred. The victims are there and you can't have any contact with them. Your next hearing on the city court case is going to be a video review hearing May 23rd at 1:45 in front of Judge Farena, if you are still in custody. So you'll appear via video, much like you're doing today with Judge Farena, so you can get this city court matter resolved. If you post bond and get released, your next court date in city court will be June 16th at 2:30 in front of Judge Farena. Whenever you do get released, Mr. Reihart, you will have court paperwork. I know Ms. Priestman wrote down the dates for you, but we'll also make sure that the jail gives you that paperwork so you have the future court date and time for that city court case. If you do fail to appear, they could issue a warrant for your arrest in all of these courts. Do you understand the consequences if you fail to appear?
Yeah.
All right, you're all done for today.
So all your legal things that you're working, then things gonna get everything sorted out for you, okay?
Okay, so let me finish. Okay.
Yeah.
Right now?
No, all later.
Okay.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, sir, tell me your name.
Darian Tarver.
Mr. Tarver, you are here on multiple matters here today. One is a warrant out of Pima County Superior Court for failing to appear for an initial appearance and arraignment on an aggravated assault count. That's a class 4 felony. You're also here on a warrant out of Oro Valley for offenses that occurred March of 2025, disorderly conduct, obstructing, and criminal trespass. And then you also have Tucson City Court matters to talk about today. Looks like those are new charges, so we will talk about those here in a minute. You do have the right to remain silent on all these cases. Anything you say can and will be used against you. On the felony matter, you do have the right to an attorney. Today, I'm going to appoint the public defender's office to represent you, and you have counsel seated with you for purposes of the hearing here today. I've had an opportunity to review information provided by pretrial services. That report tells me a little bit about you and also the circumstances of the offense. I have had a chance to review the state's recommendation as to your conditions of release as well. They are recommending the $1,000 bond that's on the warrant. That is my inclination. Did the state need to be heard further?
Nothing further, Your Honor.
Ms. Priestman?
So Judge, Mr. Tarver's asking that to be released to pretrial services, give him another chance to be in compliance and go to court. He tells me that back in March when he missed his arraignment, he did have medical issues that he was dealing with. He does he can reside with his cousin's mother, and her name is Nija. I think that's on the pretrial services report. So he's asking to be released under the supervision of pretrial, give him another chance to show up.
Looks like there, according to the information I have from pretrial, there is a couple different opportunities for him to show up previously. So I am going to impose the $1,000 cash or secured bond today. If you do post that bond, Mr. Tarver, then you need to report to pretrial services as directed, participate in any monitoring or treatment they may require. You're not allowed to possess or consume any alcohol or illegal drugs, and you can't have any firearms. Also, no contact with the victim in this case. Your next court date on this felony matter is going to be May 22nd at 1:30. That is your arraignment. If you do remain in custody, the jail will make sure that you appear likely via video, much like you're doing here today for that hearing. If you post bond and get released, it's your responsibility to show up to court for the arraignment. And if you don't, they'll issue another warrant for your arrest. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Do you understand the conditions of release I've imposed today?
Yes, I understand.
All right, now we need to talk about the Oro Valley matter. I am going to impose a bond on that matter. It's going to be a $250 cash or secured bond. I'm going to appoint Richard Glenn to represent you in that case. If you post the bond in that case and get released, don't have any contact with the victim and do not return to the incident location. Your next hearing will also be, if you're in custody, a video review hearing on May 21st at 10:30. If you do post your bond, your hearing at Oro Valley City Court will be June 11th at 10:30. You are required to appear. They'll issue more warrants for you. Do you understand, Mr. Tarver?
Yes.
And then finally, your city court matter. This was current charges, and it was for obstructing, refusing to provide your truthful name, and also being in the parks after hours. This is the time for your initial appearance and arraignment on those charges. I'm going to enter not guilty pleas for you. You are presumed innocent. On that case, I am going to impose a $50 cash or secured bond, appoint the city public defender's office to represent you. Don't go back to that park. Your next hearing for Tucson City Court is going to be May 23rd at 1:45. That will be in front of Judge Mayhew. And then again, if you get released, your next hearing is going to be June 17th at 9:30. And again, when you get released, you'll get copies of the paperwork, so that will have all of your court dates on it. Do you understand all of the conditions that I've imposed for you today on these cases?
Yes, I understand.
And if you don't show up in city court, they could issue a warrant for your arrest. They could also go forward with that hearing and future hearings in your absence if you don't show up. They could set a trial in your absence, and if you get convicted and can't be sentenced within 90 days, you could lose your right to an appeal. Do you understand all of those consequences in your Tucson City Court case if you fail to appear?
Yes.
Done for today, Mr. Tarver. All right, everyone, we are done for the day. Thank you so much. Have a wonderful day.
James, I can't see his face. James, but I can't see his face. James, I can't see his face.
See. Okay. As long as it plays the sound, we should be good. You can leave it like that. I'll keep an eye. I'll leave it open too.
James, I can't see the interpreter's face.
Now I am. Testing? Okay, you're legit. Wow, thanks for adding it. Okay. All right, thank you. Last week, he got it was part of that. So, if you could tell, you can go to friends, so, yeah, and that's the, I want to get up with friends, too. All wants your business. All right. All right, thank you. Please be seated. Gonna get an echo or what's the feedback? Confused. I just want to give you a heads up in case. But now it's working? Well, we're not dialed into Xmail. It's just the Teams mic. Oh, okay. Not sure what that means, but I will take your word for it. Do you have an interpreter, Manny, right? Can the interpreter hear me?
Yes, Your Honor.
Okay, we're having a little bit of technical issues over there. Give me 1 second.
No problem, Your Honor. Thank you.
I can hear them, but I think it's coming to... Right.
what it is.
Yeah, it won't happen.
It'll happen.
It was too quiet today.
Yeah. You'll have good days, you'll have bad days.
I can't hear. I was like, what's the noise? Everything.
Oh,
All right. Well, I'm gonna call CTR.
Izquierda, el agente de policía le va a dar una copia de todos los documentos.
Okay. All right, and thank you to the interpreter. I'm not going to have you make a general call because I don't think they can hear you out there anyway, and we'll just gamble a little bit. But I don't think we have any other Spanish speakers. Okay.
No problem.
All right, thank you so much for your patience. Okay, bye-bye. All right, let's keep going with James Lechuga. If you please come to the podium, Mr. Lechuga. That Alex Lowe, we go to the chair there. The officer will show you where to wait. You'll be next, Alex Lowe. Hello, sir. May I have your full name and your date of birth, please? All right, thanks. You're on 3 things. 1's a new case and 2 are probation warrants. In the new case, you were booked in for armed robbery, a class 2 felony, aggravated assault with a deadly weapon or dangerous instrument. That's a class 3 felony. Possession of a weapon by a prohibited person, which is a class 4 felony. And, dangerous drug possession, which is also a class 4 felony. There is probable cause for all of those, and I am appointing a lawyer for you. In this case, and in each of your probation cases. Looks like you are on probation in one case for armed robbery, and in the other case for possession of burglary tools. And there were already petitions to revoke your probation filed. Those were filed back on May 7th after they did allege the other term 1 violation that you're out on release for. That's the unlawful flight case. They also allege that you violated terms 3, 4, 5, 7, and 15 of your intensive probation. You'll get copies of those petitions from your lawyer. As I said, I did appoint a lawyer for you in these cases as well. In your new case, you are going to have 3 upcoming court dates. The first is a status conference May 21st. The last one will be a preliminary hearing May 23rd at 1:30 in the afternoon. In between those, you're going to have a bail eligibility hearing. The reason you need a bail eligibility hearing in the armed robbery case, the new one, is that you are out on release in an open felony case. That's CR 2025-117-225. Your initial appearance was right here in this courtroom on April 22nd of 2025. The law says when you come in on probable cause for new felonies, where you have any pending felony case, you are not eligible for bail at today's hearing. You must be held for a bail hearing. In your case, that will be 1 week from today, which is May 22nd at 1:30 in the afternoon. It is an evidentiary hearing, so on your paperwork, it'll say evidentiary hearing. That's your bail hearing in the new case. But you do not have the right to bail today. You are being held no bond in the new case. In each of your probation cases, your court date is going to be the morning of the 22nd, May 22nd at 8:30. That's a revocation arraignment hearing. And in each of your 2 cases, the court finds that you will, in all reasonable probability, be revoked to prison. So you do not have you do not have bond in either of your probation cases. So you're being held no bond today in all 3 of these cases. If you'll step to your left, I think the officers have your paperwork for you, or she may have it right here.
Ask a question?
Yes.
Means I'll be going to prison for all this charges?
This means this court finds there's a high probability. Is that a foregone outcome? No. You get a lawyer. You get to defend your new case. You are innocent until proven guilty. You get to defend in probation court against the allegation that you violated probation. But you now have 4 pending cases, 2 new, 2 are probation cases. The 2 pending cases, if you were to lose at trial, are prison mandatory, both of them. And this court finds that on these facts, there seems to be a strong weight of evidence against you for the new armed robbery when you're on probation for armed robbery. So the reason you're being held no bond is that the court believes there's a very good reason to think you are likely going to prison. Does that mean you are? No. Talk to your lawyer. You get a lawyer to help you defend your cases.
I'm pretty sure I'll be going to prison on these charges, but it's the only kind of way that I could get like any kind of substance abuse treatment on my way there so I could stay away from all the negativity when I get there.
On your way there, I don't know. Talk to your lawyer. I tend to doubt it, but talk to your lawyer because if there are any probation programs that are available in the jail, it just may be that if you have an open case, you're not allowed to be in them. I don't know. The defense lawyers know a lot about that. So be sure to talk to your lawyer about that at the next hearing. When you get classified, talk to those people if there's any programs that you can qualify for in the county jail system. If people who are interested, I think they're certainly willing to consider it, but the pending cases might make you ineligible. I'm just warning you. But I don't know that for a fact. All right, if you step to your left, you're going to get your paperwork. All right, thank you. Hello, and then Neil Nelson, will you go to the chair? Hello, sir. Can I have your full name and your date of birth, please?
Hello, 12/18/86.
Thank you. You're in 1 new case and 2 probation cases. In the new case, you were arrested for possession of a weapon by a prohibited person. It's a class 4 felony, and there is probable cause for it. I am appointing a lawyer to represent you in this case. Your next court date will be a status conference, May 21st at 8:30 in the morning in the downtown Superior Court, with a preliminary hearing May 23rd at 8:30 in the same court. In each of your 2 probation cases, looks like you're on probation for 2 separate armed robbery cases. There will be petitions to revoke your probation filed in each case, so you're going to have a lawyer appointed to help you in those also. Your revocation arraignment and possible disposition hearing in each of those cases will be May 22nd at 8:30 in the morning. That was a downtown Superior Court, not yet. In each of those 2 cases, the court finds that you are substantially likely that you will, in all reasonable probability, suffer a term of incarceration. So you're held without bond in both of your probation cases. In the new weapons case, your bond is $25,000 secured with written conditions. You shouldn't try to post that bond, though, if you're still being held without bond in the probation matters. Now, what did you want to say, Mr. Law? Go ahead, sir.
How was I 45 minutes away at my probation office This was found in a whole another place, 45 minutes away from me.
That's because, sir, you're talking about immediate possession on your person. So talk to your lawyer about constructive.
There was no possession
versus actual possession. Talk to your lawyer about it.
Possession anywhere.
All right. There is probable cause, sir. Your lawyer will.
Where's the probable cause?
Among other things, the police say you admitted handling the gun, picking up the gun.
I never even shoot to a gun.
Okay. Well, good luck, sir.
Worthless.
Mr. Nelson, Neil Nelson.
I'm not this longer.
Hi, sir. Can I have your full name and your date of birth, please?
You're walking off.
All right, thanks. You're here on a new case. You were arrested for unlawful flight from a law enforcement vehicle. It's a class 5 felony. And unlawful use of a means of transportation, that's also a class 5 felony. There is probable cause for both of those, and I am appointing a lawyer to represent. Your next court date is a status conference, May 21st at 8:30 in the morning in the downtown court. Your preliminary hearing will be May 23rd at 8:30 in the same court. And in your case, because you have an open and pending case, which is CR 2024-139965, your initial appearance was January 3rd in that case. You cannot get bail today. You must be held for a bail hearing. So we're setting a bail hearing for you on May 22nd, 1:30 in the afternoon. On your paperwork, it will be called evidentiary hearing, the bail hearing, because that's the way the law operates. Any pending case. It looks like there's not a warrant out for you in that case, but it is open and pending, meaning you have not been sentenced yet. That's what triggers the no bond. Yes. And so talk to your lawyer next week about what's going to happen at your bail hearing on the 22nd. You should have the same lawyer for both cases. Everything's on your paperwork. Thank you. Ms. Blay. Then Alexandra Clifton. We go to the chair. Where's Yvonne Blay? Hello, ma'am. Can I have your full name and your date of birth, please? All right, thanks. You're on a new case. You're arrested for alleged possession of narcotic drugs, a class 4 felony, and drug paraphernalia, a class 6 felony. There is probable cause for those, and I am appointing a lawyer to represent you. And your next court date in this case will be a status conference, May 21st at 8:30 in the morning in the downtown Superior Court, with a preliminary hearing May 23rd at 8:30, same court. Those are both next week. And you are out on release in a pending case. It's there 2024-117138. Your initial appearance in that case was April 11th of 2024. It looks like you are pending sentencing later this month. So because there's probable cause for new felonies, while you have any pending felony case, you must be held for a bail hearing. I'm scheduling your bail hearing for 1 week from today, which is May 22nd at 1:30 in the afternoon. On your paperwork, it would be called an evidentiary hearing because it is an evidentiary hearing. But the subject of that is whether you might be eligible for bail because you're not getting bail today. Talk to your lawyer next week about this. You will end up with the same lawyer for both cases. You step to your left, the officer has your paperwork. Which one? Her? Okay. Ms. Clifton, Alexander Clifton. After that, George Hernandez. Will you please go to the chair? Hello, sir. Can I, ma'am, sorry. Can I have your full name and date of birth, please?
4/20/1980.
Thank you. You're here on a probation warrant. You are on probation for 2 class 3 felonies, and there was a petition to revoke your probation filed on May 5th of 2025. It alleges that you violated terms 12, 13, and 21. You will receive a copy of it from your lawyer. I am appointing a lawyer to represent you. Based on what's been alleged against you in the PTR, this court believes you are substantially likely to be revoked to prison in at least one of those convictions. So for that reason, you are held without bond today. You do not have bond. You can speak to your lawyer next week about how that works. Your court date is May 22nd in the downtown probation court, 8:30 a.m. Thank you. Mr. Hernandez? And Tyson Decker, we go to the chair. Hello, sir. May I have your full name and your date of birth? 64? Are you George Frank Hernandez? All right, thank you. You're here on a new case. You were arrested for 2 allegations of aggravated assault with a simulated deadly weapon. That's a class 3 felony, each of those. They also booked you for misconduct involving weapons, a class 4 felony. But for purposes of this hearing only, the court did not find probable cause on the misconduct involving weapons because they did not provide enough detail regarding the alleged simulated weapon that you have. Some of them are dangerous instruments under Arizona law. Some of them are firearms under Arizona law. They just didn't provide enough information about it. So for purposes of this hearing only, I'm not finding probable cause on the misconduct involving weapons. There is definitely probable cause on both of the aggravated assaults though. So talk to your lawyer about how that works. I am appointing a lawyer for you. Your next court date is a status conference next week, May 21 at 8:30 in the morning, with a preliminary hearing May 23rd at 8:30 in the morning. That will be in the downtown Superior Court. Based on your very extensive criminal history and what's been alleged against you, the court sets bail in your case at $50,000. It is cash only. If you post it, you will be on an ankle monitor under the supervision of pretrial services. You may have absolutely no contact with either of the alleged victims. One of them appears to be your child, and I order zero contact with that child unless you get a different order from a different court. I'm sorry? I'm sorry, I'm having real trouble understanding. They charge you with pointing a gun at your girlfriend and the baby at the same time. It wasn't a real gun, but it was a replica gun. Well, they say they also did a one-on-one ID. So that's what the police allege that you did. You have a ton of priors and you just got out of DOC 15 months ago. So talk to your lawyer about defending it on identity grounds. The police have made identity. No weapons, no drugs, no alcohol. Mr. Decker? Or Tyson Decker. After that, Camilo Robles. We go to the chair. Hello, sir. Can I have your full name and your date of birth?
Tyson Decker, 9/16 of 80.
Thank you. Here on a new case. You're arrested for 2 allegations of possession of a weapon by a prohibited person. Those are both class 4 felonies, and there is probable cause for both of those. I am appointing a lawyer to represent you. Your status conference is going to be May 21st, which is next Wednesday at 8:30 in the morning in the downtown Superior Court, with a preliminary hearing May 23rd at 8:30 in the same court. Your bond is $25,000. It is secured. If you post it, you must comply with all of your written conditions. No weapons, no drugs, no alcohol. Everything is on your paperwork. If you step to your left, I'll give you a copy. Thank you. Mr. Robles? After that, Dejunin Patton, we go to the chair. Hello, sir. Can I have your full name and date of birth, please?
Robles, 1377.
Hi, sir. You're in a new case. You got arrested for second-degree burglary, a class 3 felony. There is probable cause for it, and I am appointing a lawyer to represent you. Your next court date is a status conference on May 21st at 8:30 in the morning in the downtown Superior Court, with a preliminary hearing May 23rd at 8:30 in the same court. Your bond is $2,500 secured. If you post it, comply with all of your written conditions. Do not go to the scene of the alleged crimes. No contact with the alleged victim. No weapons, no drugs without a valid prescription. If you step to your left, this gentleman has your paperwork. That is correct. Mr. Patton, you can come in. After Mr. Patton will be Kirsten Guzman. Hello, sir. Can I have your full name and your date of birth, please? Thank you. Here on a new case, you were arrested for possessing both dangerous and just dangerous drugs, a class 4 felony, and drug paraphernalia, a class 6 felony. You are on probation for 2 class 6 felonies in 2 different cases, and the probation department has notified the court they will be filing petitions to revoke your probation in both of those cases. So I am appointing a lawyer for you in those cases also. You should end up with the same lawyer for everything. In your new case, your next court date is a status conference May 21st at 8:30 in the morning in the downtown Superior Court, with a preliminary hearing May 23rd at 8:30 in the same court. In your probation courses, in your probation cases, you'll go in between those on May 22nd at 8:30 in the morning for a revocation arraignment hearing. Your bond in each of the 3 cases is $500 secured for $1,500 total. If you bond out, comply with all of your written conditions and call your PO within 72 hours. You've got your paper. Not unless you bond out, correct? Now, you have to bond out. You can leave, but you have to bond out. If you don't bond out, you don't leave, at least until your next court date. Ms. Guzman? And then Blaine Busby, we go to the chair. Hello, ma'am. Can I have your full name and your date of birth, please? What's your neighbor? All right, thank you. You're on a bench warrant for failing to appear in a case in which you've been charged with dangerous drug possession, class 4 felony, drug paraphernalia possession, class 6 felony, and first-degree criminal trespass, a class 6 felony. This warrant issued after you failed to appear at a status conference on May 9th of this year. You already have a lawyer. Your next court date is going to be a status conference this Wednesday, May 21st at 8:30 in the morning with a preliminary hearing May 23rd at 8:30. The address there will be on your paperwork, and you have a $500 secured appearance bond and written release conditions. If you bond out, comply with all of those. We stepped your left. The officer's got it. Oh, you know what? I got to reprint this one. I apologize, officer. I didn't do it on no return to the scene. I forgot there was a criminal trespass, so no victim contact, no going to the scene. Yeah, we have to reprint yours. Katrina's not back yet, so if you'll just let her know. I forgot to click the victim buttons because it is a victim case. Blaine Busby. Without Jorge Tellez, will you please go to the chair? Hi, sir. Can I have your full name and date of birth, please?
Blaine Robert Busby, 824.
All right, thanks. You're hearing two warrants. One is from North Mesa Justice Court. The other one's from a different one. Hey, can you reprint 13 for me? Thank you. All right. The other one is from the McDowell Mountain Justice Court. All right. In the first one, let's just take North Mesa first. It is an assault class 1 misdemeanor DV case. You have already been convicted in this case. This is a failure to comply warrant. It looks like domestic violence classes or other orders. Your arraignment hearing in the North Mesa Justice Court will be May 20th, which is this Tuesday the 20th, 1 o'clock in the afternoon. That address will be on your paperwork. Your bond in this case is $500 and it is secured. Looks like this warrant issued March 24th of 2023.
Not regarding no jail time, right?
I'm sorry?
It's not regarding no jail time, no.
It doesn't say that you failed to do jail time. That might be one of the things you...
It's not receipt. It doesn't recommend any jail time, is what I mean. It's classes. My brother passed away during this time.
Not specific.
I know you don't want to hear this. My brother passed away during this time, and I'm willing to do whatever it takes, ma'am, Your Honor, to straighten this out. So.
Okay. All right. So the other case is from McDowell Mountain Justice Court. It's an initial arrest warrant on charges of failing to obey a police officer and activating a pedestrian signal illegally on a highway or public thoroughfare. This one issued June 29 of 2023. Again, this is going out of the McDowell Mountain Justice Court. Your arraignment hearing in McDowell Mountain is currently set for the same date and time, which is May 20th at 8:30 in the morning. I'll explain what to do in a moment. Now, in the domestic violence case, you have that $500 secured appearance bond. I'm affirming the Justice Court's bond. In the McDowell Mountain case, it's a brand new case. You haven't missed any court dates, but you have the other bond pending. So what we usually do is we set a placeholder bond in these cases. It's $50. It's meant to make sure you're eligible for credit for time in custody if you can't post the other bond. But if you can post the other bond and get yourself to court in 5 days, your court date is in 5 days, I can release you in the McDowell Mountain one. You still have to post $500 in the other one, but if you're able to do that, I'll release you in this McDowell Mountain one. That will change your court date.
Okay, so
are you going to be able to make the $500 bond in the domestic violence case
today?
Yeah, or anytime between now and Tuesday. Your court date is Tuesday.
Yes.
Yes. All right.
Well, no, I mean. There's no way you can release me on child services?
No, I won't, sir. Not on your record of non-appearance in the case and what they're alleging in the Justice Court in terms of the failure to comply.
Yeah, so then, I'll make the bond.
All right, then I'm going to release you in the other one because there's no need for a placeholder if you're going to make bond. So the one that you need the bond in is the North Mesa Justice Court. The one that is a brand new case is McDowell Mountain. So it's McDowell Mountain that I'm going to release you because you haven't missed any court dates in that case. So there's no need to give you a bond unless you're stuck in custody. So if you're not going to be stuck in custody, then I'm going to release you in that case only. And that changes your court date to June 4th for that case only, which is McDowell Mountain. That's the failure to obey a police officer one. That's the one that's June 4th. The other one, the DV case with the bond, the court date is Tuesday, this Tuesday, 5 days from now, 1 in the afternoon in the North Mesa Justice Court. So if and when you make bond, you have to be in this court at 1 o'clock on Tuesday or you'll lose your bond money and there will be another warrant issued for your arrest.
Okay.
Everything's going to be on your paperwork. We just need to reprint the McDowell Mountain one. So give us a second. If you go have a seat, they're going to send out your paperwork. Thank you. Mr. Tellez, Jorge Tellez. And then Heather Stevenson, will you go to the chair? Hello, sir. Can I have your full name and date of birth, please? All right, thanks. You're here on a warrant for failing to appear at a Rule 11 competency hearing on February 12th of 2024, which is last year.
I've been in program the whole time, Your Honor. I've been programming the whole time. I've been in group homes and rehabs, but I mean, nothing.
The warrant, nothing has happened in your case. This warrant has been outstanding.
It's a
Since February 20. No, Mr. Cass, I will continue to talk. If you keep talking over me, we'll probably end up having to do this as a house call. All right, I'm not done talking. You have a lawyer appointed in the case. Your status conference is May 20th at 9 in the morning in the downtown Superior Court. The judge in that court gave you a $500 cash only bond. I do not see any reason not to impose that bond. Go ahead.
I've been arrested 2 times for this case.
I don't see that in the record, no.
Yeah,
The last thing I see in the docket is this warrant.
I got arrested in the courts, in municipal courts, to follow up with this case that they gave me over 2 years ago. And the next time, I turned myself in again because I had a warrant. And this would happen over 2 years ago. And this is the third time I've been arrested for it. I was in Google programming the whole time.
All right, hold on.
I've been programming the whole time, Your Honor.
Hold on.
Rehabs, group homes.
Make sure I'm looking at the right docket. Right. What I see is, so there was this warrant in February 2023. Looks like they got some correspondence about it. They quashed it in December of 2023. It set another hearing. There were 3 continuances, and you still weren't there. So they issued the warrant that I'm seeing you on right now, February of 2024. So, sir, you're going to have to go work that out. You get your lawyer to help you. You work that out with the trial court. He's not human. He's in Yuma. No, you have a lawyer here. There's a lawyer in Maricopa County in this case. So everything's on your paperwork. You'll be back in court next Tuesday at 9 in the morning. If you step to your left, they're going to give you a copy of that. Good luck, sir. All right, Ms. Stevenson. Hello, ma'am. Can I have your full name and your date of birth, please?
Nicole Stevenson, 11/18/1884.
Okay, thanks. You were here on a probation violation warrant. You're on probation for a class 6 felony. There was a petition to revoke your probation filed on March 10th. It alleges that you violated terms 3, 5, 15 of your probation. You'll get a copy of that petition from your lawyer. I am appointing a lawyer for you. Your next court date is in the downtown probation court in 1 week, which is May 22nd at 8:30 in the morning. That's a revocation arraignment and possible disposition hearing. Your bond is $250. It is secured. If you post it, comply with all of your conditions, call your PO within 72 hours. He has your paperwork.
Is it cheapest you can give him long, ma'am?
That is correct, ma'am. That is what the court is setting. Thank you. And then I need Ariel Jones, please. Hello, sir. Can I have your full name and your date of birth, please?
Aries Jones, April 4th, 2005.
All right, thank you. Here on a new case, you're arrested for obstruction of justice, a class 2 misdemeanor. There is probable cause for it. Your next court date is going to be in the Ironwood Justice Court. That address will be on your paperwork. It is this Tuesday, 5 days from now, May 20th, 8:30 in the morning. Your bond is $250. It is secured. If you post it, oh, I apologize. I need to click some buttons on this one. I need to reprint his paperwork. If you post it, you have to be there on the 20th, or there will be a warrant issued for your arrest, and you will lose your bond money. If you don't post it, you will have a lawyer there to represent you on the bond question only. If you do post it, I'm not currently giving you permission to leave the state between now and May 20th. If you get an order from the Justice Court to travel after May 20th, that's fine. But right now, the court wants to see that you will stay in Phoenix and appear for this court date. Everything's going to be in the paperwork. We just need to reprint it. You can step out your room. Mr. Carmichael Jones and then James Selene will go to the chair. Good morning, sir. May I have your full name and date of birth, please? All right. I do find that you appear to be Carmichael Jones, born 1967, as identified to this court by the sheriff's office. So I find that is you. And, sir, I'm not here for you to derail the hearing. I understand that you likely don't recognize the jurisdiction of the court. So I'm going to proceed with the statutory requirements. I will give you a chance to speak at the end, but the court is not here to answer your questions. I'm here to conduct an initial appearance. I will answer some questions if they appear to be reasonably requesting information rather than challenging the legitimacy of the court. But I'm first going to proceed with the requirements under the law. You've been arrested. Mr. Jones, you've been arrested for obstructing governmental operations. Mr. Jones, if you don't stop talking over me, I'll just do it as a house call back in the cell block, because it is the in-person appearance that it is the in-person hearing that constitutes the hearing. This hearing is being recorded, but this is a magistrate court rather than a court of record. You can attempt to inform yourself about what that means. You can consult with a lawyer about it. But this is about the last time I'm going to pause and what I have to do at this very brief hearing, and then I will give you a chance to speak. You've been arrested for obstructing governmental operations. It is a class 2 misdemeanor. Your arraignment hearing is going to be May 20th at 8:30 in the morning, which is this Tuesday, in the White Tank Justice Court. I truly have no idea why you're listed in a different justice court as your co-defendant. I truly don't, but ultimately the cases are going to the same county attorney's office for charging, and they can figure out where the appropriate venue is. Your arraignment hearing May 20th, 8:30 in the morning. Your bond is $250. It is secured. As I told your co-defendant, if you post it, I want you to stay in Arizona and show that you will appear for court on Tuesday, May 20th. You can ask the Justice of the Peace for permission to travel back and forth to California, but at this moment in time, the court believes you are very unlikely to appear. Now, what did you want to ask?
Can you repeat the last part you said? The last part you just stated.
I find that you're very unlikely to appear, which is why I'm not giving you permission to go back and forth to California between now and May 20th. So if you leave the state, you'll lose any bail money that you posted, and there will be a warrant issued for your arrest. If you want to travel after May 20th, get permission from the judge in the White Tank Justice.
Well, what I wanted to say, first, the last statement you said is untrue. And then second of all, what I was saying, the reason I was asking what these proceedings reported is because I wanted to let you know that I'm here on special plans under the rest as the beneficiary of Carmichael Jones. That's what I wanted to be clear about. And I wanted to point out to you that for me to make any determination upon this matter would take me out of my beneficiary position and put me as the surety. On that behalf, you decided to take, I want to say for the record, you decided to take a trustee position on the Carmichael Jones. And second of all, I wanted to ask, I will be reporting to my court date, but I also need to ask if I need more time, what are we addressing? Because there's matters and information and things that was misconstrued, that's inconsistent with the so-called charges. I don't even know what the charges was until you presented it to me. And all this obstruction of justice, asking questions, because someone's telling you to do something, needs to be investigated. I need to see the evidence, and so I want to be able to have time so that I can address this and we can clear this matter up. Because I'm an honorable person, and I'm not a goner, and I'm not a heathen.
Okay, Mr. Jones, I got about 10 more seconds for you to declare more character.
That's all I wanted to say.
Okay, all right. So that none of that changes the court's position or the court's opinion that you are very unlikely to comply with release conditions. Term 1 is not to violate the law and or to appear for hearing. So I gave you a lawyer to address the bail issue. If you don't post bail, then you get a lawyer to help you with the bail issue. But the court does not otherwise fund lawyers for this type of misdemeanor unless the state is seeking jail time. If the state does seek jail time, they will ensure that you are represented by counsel, etc. But you can take out all of that with the Justice of the Peace at your further hearing. We have release conditions in place now. You are ordered to comply with them. Failure to comply with those can be booked as a misdemeanor. And as I said, if you do not appear at that hearing, then you will lose your bail money and there'll be a warrant issued for your arrest. All right, if you step to the left, if you get a paper, that's everything that you need to know.
What is it secured?
Secured means you can go through a bail bondsman if you want. All right, Mr. Selena, if you come in. Then Alejandro Del Rio, you go to the chair. Hello, sir, can I have your full name and date of birth, please?
James Patrick Molina, 11/13/85.
All right, Mr. Selena, you have a new case. You're arrested for possession of dangerous and narcotic drugs. So the class 4 felonies, also drug paraphernalia possession, class 6 felony. There is probable cause for this. I am appointing a lawyer for you. Your next court date is to be a status conference in 2 weeks. It's May 29th, 8:30 in the morning in the downtown Superior Court, with a preliminary hearing June 2nd at 8:30. You qualify for release to pretrial services supervision. That is what I'm ordering. They're going to get an envelope about how you call in and report to them after you are released. No weapons, you are prohibited possessor. No drugs, without a valid prescription. Do not miss your court dates. Here's a paper. To pretrial services, that is correct. Mr. Del Rio, Alejandro Del Rio. Hello, sir, can I have your full name and date of birth, please?
17/1994.
Thank you. Here on a new case. You got arrested for attempted criminal damage as a misdemeanor. There is probable cause for it, and I am appointing a lawyer to represent you. The next court date is an arraignment hearing June 4th at 8:30 in the morning in the Guadalupe City Court, which, as you'll see on your paperwork, currently all of Guadalupe's cases are being heard by the Tempe City Court. So we're sending you to Tempe to go to court, but that is because they have an intergovernmental agreement to handle all Guadalupe cases. So I'm willing to release you on your own recognizance, but you're getting domestic violence release conditions, whatever it is that I order. And that includes you cannot live where your mom lives while the case is pending. You can go there on a civil standby one time to collect belongings. You must find another location to stay while the case is pending. You can't have any contact with her. Even if she invites you home, you may not do that because you're under a court order not to live there, not to have contact with her. No weapons, no drugs, no alcohol. You understand those requirements? Will you comply?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, then I'm going to release you. The police can and will arrest you for violating this order if you go back there. You can bring a cop with you to keep the peace. They'll help you collect some stuff, and then you go stay somewhere else. If you go there on your own, you're in violation, and the county sheriff will arrest you just for that. And then you're going to end up with a gun. So just comply. You don't miss your court dates. No weapons, no drugs, no alcohol. Okay. All right. Accept your other good Mr. Martinez Dominguez, and then Marcos Salinas, who go to the chair. Hello, sir. Can I have your full name and date of birth, please?
Julian Manny Martinez Domingos, 010401.
All right, thanks. You're in your case. You got arrested for driving on a suspended license, a class 1 misdemeanor, and knowingly displaying a fictitious license plate, which is a class 2 misdemeanor. There is probable cause for those. Your arraignment hearing is going to be June 3rd at 9 in the morning. This is about 3 weeks from now in the Santan Justice Court. And on these facts, I'm going to release you in the form of recognizance to court, comply with the release conditions. And on this type of charge, you may never do another night in jail so long as you show up. Okay? You expect your right to be apologize for my actions. Thank you. You're innocent until proven guilty. Mr. Salinas? In Savannah Church Street, we go to the chair. Hello, sir. Can I have your full name and date of birth? Okay, thanks. You're here on 2 warrants, one from the Country Meadows Justice Court, one from Western Gal Justice Court. In Country Meadows, this is in a case you've already been convicted. It's for driving on a suspended license and failure to stay at the scene of an accident. For the misdemeanors, this is a failure to pay or failure to comply one. Your arraignment hearing in Country Meadows Justice Court will be May 29th, which is 2 weeks from now at 8:30 in the morning. And I am going to release you on your own recognizance in that case. It looks like this is a first post-adjudication warrant. I didn't note any prior arrests in this case, which indicates that you do tend to go to court. So I don't have any reason to think you won't. If you give us one, we'll give you a bond next time. But just go on May 29th. If you can't make it, you can call them and ask to reschedule. In my experience, they will always do that if you call in advance. West McDowell Justice Court is driving on suspended license. It's a class 1 misdemeanor. This is a failure to appear. It is from March of 2024. And your arraignment hearing there is going to be June 3rd at 1:30 in the afternoon. And it looks like it's a failure to appear from either a citation or a summons. I'm willing to give you one do-over. It is a class 1 misdemeanor, but it's a traffic warrant. So I'll usually let people, if they blow off the first appearance from the citation, I'll give you one chance to go. Now that you realize it's not going to magically disappear. This will happen again. If you don't go, we will see that you came through the jail and we'll give you a bond. So just be smart and go, but you are released on bond. All right, we got one. Seriously? And then a little bit Justiniano, where you go to the chair. Hello, ma'am. Can I have your full name and your date of birth, please? All right, thank you. And in your case, you got arrested for assault and disorderly conduct, both class 1 domestic violence misdemeanors, but it is probable cause for those. And I'm appointing a lawyer for you by telling the Buckeye City Court to give you a lawyer when you get there. It's going to be June 3rd, 2 o'clock in the afternoon down in Buckeye. The address is on your paperwork. And in your case, I'm also willing to release you on your own recognizance. I got to reprint this one too. I'm sorry. This is one where there's a lot of moving parts because we have like sort of a primary victim and then arguable secondary victims of the disorderly conduct. So, okay. So, what I'm willing to do, so I'm going to order no contact related victim, and by that I mean your sister. But apparently there was a bit of a melee, and there were other people who the state may definitely be asserting are victims of the disorderly conduct. That's a little more nebulous. I'm not specifically ordering no contact with them because I don't know that that's required for their safety. As far as we can tell, you've never been arrested before. And so the person I want to keep you away from is the sister. And so what I'm going to order is no contact with her, and you can't go where she is staying. And so I saw the police said she's from out of town, but you're not. You live there, and she doesn't. So I don't know where anybody is. So what I'm ordering, I'm not specifically ordering you not to go home, but I am saying you can't go to or reside anywhere she is staying. And by that, and I put here the alleged victim, I just mean your sister. So she's still there. You need to go to a friend's house, go to a hotel, whatever you got to do until she's gone. But no weapons, no drugs, no alcohol. If you get served with an order of protection, you have to comply with them as well. You understand those orders? Yes. All right, well, you comply. Okay, then you are released. Everything you need to know is on your paperwork. Just don't miss those split dates. Thank you. Ms. Justiniano? Hello, ma'am. Can I have your full name and your date of birth, please?
Marlene, 11/13/03.
Okay, thanks. You heard a new case. You were arrested for disorderly conduct, a class 1 misdemeanor, and assault, a class 3 misdemeanor. There is probable cause for those. I am applying a lawyer to represent you. The next court date is going to be June 3rd at 9 in the morning in the San Tan Justice Court. That's about 3 weeks from now. The address, I think that's in Chandler, is going to be on your paper. I'm also prepared to release you on your own recognizance with these orders. I'm mainly, in your case, concerned about contact with the neighbors, but not yet the people who called the police. The victim of the class 3 misdemeanor assault, who appears to be your boyfriend, has put in a victim impact statement saying he does not want you to be prosecuted. He didn't call the cops. He didn't want you to be arrested. That's not up to him to drop the charges. That's up to the county attorney. But it does mean I'm not worried about you having contact with him. I'm worried about trouble with the neighbors who called the cops. So this is what I'm ordering. No contact with them. So I checked complainants or witnesses. And that if management is letting you live there, because some management will, some management won't, but if department management is still letting you go there, you can live there, but you cannot, basically, I'm banning you from the public areas. You can come and go from your own apartment. You can't loiter or linger. So you don't go to the pool, you don't go to the gym, you stay away from those neighbors, because if you have contact with them and there's a problem, the best thing that happens is you get ordered to move. The worst thing that happens is you pick up a new chart. So just don't. If you see them in the parking lot, turn and go the other way, go to your apartment. What my order says is you can come and go from your own apartment, but you're not to linger or loiter in any common areas. So if you can get back and forth to put your laundry in and go home, great. Don't stand there and wait for it. Don't go to the pool. Don't go to the gym. All right. And then as far as your boyfriend goes, I ordered you may not have any uninvited contact with him, which means if there's a problem 3 days from now and he says, I don't want to see you, you could be arrested if the cops get called for violating these orders because you just got uninvited. But provided he maintains it, because like I said, he turned in a victim impact statement saying that he did not want any of this, the arrest to happen, etc. So, in any event, no weapons, no drugs, no alcohol. That's standard in DV cases. If you get served with an order of protection, which presumably would be from him, you have to comply with that as well. But if you don't get served with one, that's okay. Do you understand all of that?
Yes.
Will you comply?
Yes.
When you are released, your court date is in about 3 weeks. Right, now, what's your question?
When everything happened, nobody read me my Miranda rights. They just grabbed me and was like, okay, you're arrested. And I was like, what am I arrested for?
So here's the thing. Here's the thing. Watching TV or TikTok or wherever people get ideas about the legal system isn't a great way to get accurate information.
Yeah, that's
Miranda rights. Right. Miranda rights are not in any way required for a valid arrest.
Okay.
If things you say are going to be admitted against you at trial, then you have to be Miranda. So Miranda has to do with interrogation and the admission of statements at trial. It has nothing to do with a valid arrest. They can arrest you while you're literally comatose. They do not actually have to tell you what you got arrested for. There's no legal requirement for it. They have to put you in front of a judge in Arizona within 24 hours. We have to tell you what you got arrested for. They don't even have to tell you. So keep in mind, they can arrest you when you're in a coma in the hospital. They can cuff you to the bed while you're in a coma, and that is a valid arrest. Right. So nothing that I'm hearing sounds like your rights were violated. You can talk to your lawyer if you want more information about that.
No, I never
it's just TV. It's TV.
Or anything like that. So
TV. Right. And the cops are trained to do it as soon as they can. Usually, that's because if you say things later or if they question you, they want those statements to be admissible at trial. So talk to your lawyer about all of that. Good luck.
Thank you so much.
All right, I got 2 house calls, and then I'm going to do the FOJ. Yeah. So I got Brian Reichendaller. All right, so can I have your full name and date of birth?
It's Matthew Gerard Beasley or Winter. August 1st,
What was the thing after Beasley? What did you have another name after Beasley?
Well, my maiden name, I changed my name when I got married. So the name I took the name was Beasley, but my birth name is different.
Okay, but legally it's Beasley right now.
Yeah.
Okay, fine. Okay, then that's what we're going with. All right. So, and are we clear, officer? Okay. You are here on a warrant from another state, which works differently than an in-state warrant. What you have is extradition rights between here and Mississippi. So, this warrant issued March 28th of 2025. It is out of this Union PD of County Newton, Newton County, Mississippi. It appears you've been charged with molestation of a minor. All right, so you have 4 basic extradition rights in any state because they're federal rights. Number 1 is the right to have a hearing, an extradition hearing within 90 days after today on the question of whether Mississippi has the right to take you back there. That's an extradition hearing. You have the right as part of that process to insist that a governor's warrant signed by the governors of each state be presented in Arizona before you are ordered returned to Mississippi without your consent. Third, you have the right to hire a lawyer to represent you in extradition proceedings. We don't appoint lawyers in extradition cases, though, as a matter of right, because you're not fighting the criminal charges here. You have to fight the criminal charges in Mississippi. So what you have in a civil case like extradition is the right to hire a lawyer to represent you or to represent yourself. The last right is the right to bail under Arizona law. If you do not agree to go back, you have the right to bail. It doesn't mean it's a small bail. But in this case, the court believes, based on the nature of the charge or fact that it is out of state, the court is unaware of what amount of time you may actually be facing. And also, I will say the recency of the warrant, this court intends to set bail at $200,000 cash only in your case. You could post bail and be out of custody while the extradition proceedings are happening. But if you don't come to all of your Arizona court dates, and you usually have 2 or 3 before the actual extradition hearing, if you don't show up with those, Arizona will keep your bail money and will issue an Arizona warrant for your arrest on top of the existing Mississippi warrant. So that's the extradition path. If you don't want to give up your rights, or if you just don't want to decide today, it automatically from a 90-day pass, because that's your right. And I'm just going to set your first hearing, which would be June 2nd at 1:30 in the afternoon. Now, you can bypass that whole procedure and agree to go back. We call that waiving extradition. What you're waiving are those 4 rights. You give up, well, you don't really give up the right to hire a lawyer. People can always hire lawyers. You just give up any usefulness of hiring a lawyer. So you would waive the right to have an extradition hearing within 90 days. You'd waive the governor's warrants, and you'd waive the right to bail. Because if you agree to go back, the law requires that I hold you no bond for up to 30 calendar days while Mississippi has a chance to come and get you. They get notified. And if you waive your rights, the 30-day clock starts the day after you waive. Day 1 is the next day. So you would start May 16th if you waive today. If you were to decide on June 2nd to waive, let's say you don't waive today, you go on June 2nd, you decide to waive. Your waiver clock will start June 3rd. But you're held no bond when you waive, that people don't get to run around after they've agreed to go back to the state. But if they don't come and get you at the end of 30 days, you get released, but the warrant, the Mississippi warrant, stays active in the national system until Mississippi quashes it. We cannot quash a Mississippi warrant. You can get arrested 2 or 3 times in other states easily, more. And then if the state doesn't come and get you and you're out running around, you can literally be arrested on the identical warrant if you don't do something about it in Mississippi. So any questions for me? So that's the 30-day plan. 30 days, no bond. You don't go back to court. You don't have any more court dates because the extradition case will end right here if you wait. There is no extradition case. So any questions?
So if the court determines there's probable cause of usually with this, is that all they're considering?
Correct.
So basically the existence of a warrant would.
It is probable cause. Well, right. And I find probable cause that we do a teletype. A teletype is an ancient computer system. And every jurisdiction has, it's usually the county sheriff, it is for us. They put an inquiry into the national system. It pops up on the Mississippi screen for Newton County because it looks like it comes out of Union PD, Union Police Department, but their agency for the NCIC, the National Criminal Information Center, is Newton. So somebody in Newton had to answer and type in things saying, yes, valid warrant. And so that's what I take as probable cause that you are the subject of an extended. Now, you're entitled, if you don't waive today, and you go to the first hearing, you'll get more discovery. You'll get more info, copies of charging documents. All I have is a teletype. Mississippi, is this valid? Yes, it is. Here's the details. And so if you want more info, I always tell people not to waive because you'll never get it. You won't go back to court.
I have another issue with I love.
Okay.
But I do want to want this outside the question, but because you seem to be the most powerful person in this building.
Well, I don't know if that's true, but in this room.
I'm trying to address it with a couple of people and having a solution. I have a neurological condition that requires me to have a ventilator. It's not a CPAP, but like my brain doesn't tell my body to breathe when I sleep. So it's not like I have a blockage.
You're saying it's something beyond a CPAP.
Yeah, and I have a machine for this, but I wasn't informed that I wouldn't be able to get a fine number. I just got to speak to somebody on the way in there asking if I could receive a phone number from my phone. And they informed me that I wouldn't be able to do that without a search warrant being issued from my phone. The issue is I haven't been here long at this point, but I haven't slept. And I will just continue not to sleep. Right. What happens is, as soon as I actually fall asleep, I don't breathe. And it causes my oxygen to go below like 88%, which starts to hurt my body. My left foot's already swelling out pretty big because I have it.
Have you seen medical?
Even though they're rolling the hall all the time, at about 5 this morning, I requested their attention and they never went by.
Okay, well, so I'll tell you, so Mr. Beasley,
I did
the court, it's okay, the court, I believe at this proceeding, lack the power to order the sheriff to do anything specific. What I will tell you is that they are legally responsible for your medical condition. So about what I think I can do, and it's to at least shine a light on it. I'll figure out who the sergeant is. You tell your sergeant, I'll tell the sergeant, Correctional Health is actually a different agency. They don't work for the sheriffs. They don't, and they don't work for me. I have to do a more formal hearing to order them to do things. But this hearing is being audio and video recorded. The sheriff's office, by virtue of the officer being present, is on notice of all of the things that you just said. And so it is certainly my hope that that is enough to get their attention, that they are legally responsible for knowing that this is a very significant and imminent issue for them, and that he should not be left unobserved because he might fall asleep. And that if he's sleeping, it's dangerous, because sometimes, there's a lot of people in the jail who are under the influence of coming down from drugs, and they are allowed to sleep if they appear to be okay. And in a situation like yours, if that's your condition, you could rapidly be not okay, even if you appear to be breathing, you could be not taking in enough oxygen. So I will, just on a human to human level, I'll take a personal interest in it and get the message to Correctional Health through a sergeant. It does not affect the court's decision. It can't. And certainly, I don't disbelieve you, actually. I hope that's obvious. But I can't be in the position of taking the word of somebody who has a really substantial motive to also make it up. So what I'm going to try to do is at least say I cared enough to reach out and say, this gentleman is speaking of a truly significant issue, and they could end up very, very liable for injury or death.
I did inform them of the type of machine it was.
Okay.
And they informed me that they don't have those machines. But all I had is the sleep pad or BiPad. They don't put sleep. But I tried to let them know the difference. Said, you know what? That just opens it everywhere.
Right. What's the name of it, or what do you call it?
The machine is called an adaptive servo. It's SERVO generator. I mean, the first is ASB machine. It kind of resembles the CPAP, but CPAP might be about 1,500 bucks or something, about 6 or 7 thousand.
Okay. All right. Well, and like I said, so my contacts are at the sheriff's office, but they'll know who to alert at Correctional Health. But one would hope that knowledge of that would be enough to get them to pay serious attention. All right. So do you know what you want to do today? You don't have to decide today. If you don't want to decide about waiving, that automatically puts you on the 90-day path because you have those rights. All right. Then I have to ask you some formal questions to make sure you understand the rights you have before I ask if you want to give them. So first, did you read the waiver paperwork we gave you? That's the part. Did you read it? All right. Do you understand that you do not have to sign that paperwork? All right. Do you understand that you have the right to have an extradition hearing here in Arizona? And you understand you have the right to hire a lawyer at your own expense? Okay. Do you understand that you do have that right, though? Okay. Do you understand that you have the right to insist that a governor's warrant be signed by the governors of both states before you are returned to Mississippi? I need this. Okay, just in case this is ever transcribed, I just need to be able to hear all things. I do understand that you have the right to bail if you do not waive. You understand that if you do waive, you'll be held for those 30 calendar days without bail. Understanding those rights, do you want to give them up and sign the paperwork? And they would threaten you with promise you anything to get you to sign the paperwork. And if you have any drugs, alcohol, medication in the last 24 hours. All right, then I find that you do knowingly, intelligently, and voluntarily waive your rights to the extradition hearing and the associated rights in this case, and that you are agreeing to go back to Mississippi without an extradition hearing and signing that waiver paperwork. My orders will direct our sheriff's office to notify Mississippi that you're ready to return. Mississippi will have 30 calendar days starting tomorrow to come and get you. One thing I forgot to say is if you have any Arizona criminal charges or holds, Mississippi's 30 days will begin at the conclusion of any Arizona case. I always have to say that in case you have some. Do you understand that? All right, does that change your mind? Okay. All right, then you got to sign a couple times for my clerk. I'm going to make a household record, but I'm going to carry this around so that I remember to do it as soon as I get back to the office, okay? Oh, sorry. This is my note to try to start an email chain through the Correctional Health. And frankly, I can't direct you what to do. I'd be telling the sergeant like that. This hearing is recorded. It's live streamed on the internet. It is out there in the world. The sheriff's office now very unequivocally knows that you have this condition. So, all right, if you step to your left, she can tell you when to sign. Got to sign a couple times. She will give you a copy of what you're signing. It is the extradition waiver. All right, so Officer for Brian Reichendaller and Ashton McDuffie, are they not physically present in court because they've been isolated as potential risks of danger to themselves or others? Okay, thanks. I show both of them. I show one non-accused suicide, that's Reichendaller, and bizarre behavior from McDuffie. Okay, thanks. So I'm going to go conduct those initial appearances in-house immediately after this recording, led by Brian Reichendaller on 2/7 of 72. That he is here on a new case. He got arrested for shoplifting in an amount over $1,000. It is a class 6 felony. There's probably cause for it. I am appointing a lawyer to represent him. His next court date will be established for May 21 at 8:30 in the downtown Superior Court. This criminal hearing May 23rd at 8:30 in the same court. And on these facts and his very extensive criminal history, I'm inclined to set bail on the amount recommended by the state, which is $500. They wanted 15, 500 secure, what I decided. $500 secure with written conditions that will go over with him, which include not going to the scene to be alleged crime, or contact any victims or witnesses there. After McDuffie's here on the warrant, in San Marcos Justice Court, where he's been charged with DUI. One's impaired to science degree, one is by drugs, both class 1 misdemeanors. And this is a failure to clear warrants dated April 14th, 2025. I am appointing a lawyer for him, getting a arraignment hearing May 20th, 10 in the morning, with him at the Justice Court, and I'm currently planning to affirm the bond in his case, which is $250 secured with the conditions I will go with him. And I can change this after I see either of these defendants for their initial appearances. I will supplement with the top forward. Now we are going to stand in recess until 2 p.m. this afternoon. Thank you. I trust you. Okay.